You've been wondering why you're here, who I am, why I'm doing this to you. So guess. If you guess right, I'll tell you. By the old gods and the new, I swear. You win the game. If you can figure out who I am and why I'm torturing you, and I win the game if you beg me to cut off your finger. You think I'm some sort of a savage? If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. I win.
Welcome to this podcast.
Welcome back to the Same Shit Different Day, the podcast, episode 11.
Day. Let's get it. Another week, baby. We here, episode 11. What up, man?
These UFCs just keep on rolling. They don't let us take a break. They don't let us stop, but I like it. It gives us content, I guess, right?
Makes it easy to do this every week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know what we're going to talk about when they take off, but then again, I feel like it's been 6 or 7 weeks in a row, so maybe we could take a break.
Oh,
but
nah, man, we got mad other sports we could do.
I mean, honestly, I was a little concerned about this card after Hamzat dropped off, and I really wanted to see that fight with Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I love Bilal Muhammad though, so I was cool with it, and I think it actually ended up becoming more interesting than I thought, and a couple interesting topics at least coming out of it.
Straight into it. What's up? Let's go. What do you think?
I mean, I don't always get started on the very first fight of the night, but this time I was just kind of hanging around, so I threw it on right at the beginning, and wow, card kicked off with a bang, huh?
Oh, straight knockout, took his head off. How you say his name?
Yeah,
say that for me.
Semmelsberger.
Semmelsberger with the knockout, 16 seconds straight. Yo, eat this.
I think it was 13. I don't know. I thought I read 13, but
quick enough.
Whatever it was, like, it was wild. He starched him,
Fatality. Yeah. Laid him stiff.
That was a nice way to make your name for yourself to get it kicked off, you know what I'm saying?
They brought you in. If you came in from the jump, you was there to stay, and you got treated to a pretty decent card.
Yeah, for sure. It was enjoyable, at least. There was a lot of good fights. Before we get on to our picks and shit, I just want to also mention Eric Anders gets DQ'd in a fight he was clearly winning, like an absolute jerk off.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense.
Asshole.
With an illegal knee on Darren Stewart. And I'm like, hold on, am I crazy?
Deja vu.
100%.
Not only that, it just happened last week with Aljo and Peter Yan, and not only the fact that was major news, but how about the fact that Eric Anders actually tweeted at Peter Yan talking shit like, yo, that was illegal, you deserve to lose your belt.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Asshole.
And now, like, Peter Yan, I gotta say one thing, language barrier or not, he's one of the top 5 MVPs on Twitter.
He scraps back.
He's quick. He don't let nothing go. He remembered that shit. I would tell you he don't even know who Eric Anders is, but he did. He remembered. He came back and said, wow, okay. And then Eric Anders writes back to him afterwards, nah, man, come on. We're illegal knee brothers.
Oh, shit.
What a fucking jerk off. That shit ain't funny.
Oh, no, especially when you may not be back in the UFC.
Darren Stewart is upset about these jokes. He don't think that shit is funny.
Yeah, definitely not, bro. It's fucked up, but what you gonna do?
It was going too well, I think, for a card that looked a little weak on paper. Right. And then right from the start was kind of a banger and was outperforming its, what it looked like on paper.
Yep.
We got to a point where something had to give, and little did we know it would get worse as the night went on, but this was the first little hiccup. It's just so funny how things like that happen in MMA, where, like, it could be a good technique. That happens a lot, too, and then all of a sudden, like, you see everybody doing it, like the calf kick phenomenon. That's not the first time that happened.
Right.
But, like, this shit, how the fuck you throw that knee again after, like, a week after? I don't get it.
After just talking shit about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
It's crazy the brain farts that happened in there. But, yo, it happens, and we'll see where he goes from here. You move on. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, he was dominating the fight, which I feel like that's why you kind of feel bad for everyone. Same thing as last week. It's like Anders was winning the fight clearly and didn't need the knee. Probably would have finished him if he just kept hitting him with his hands.
Right.
And then Darren Stewart not only takes a beating, but then takes an illegal knee, too. It's just like, ugh.
Crazy.
Terrible situation. But as we roll on through the picks, we both had Angela Hill. Is actually a rerun pick, a little from a couple weeks ago when that fight got pushed back, and that would be where my night ended in terms of getting wins.
Loser.
Oh damn!
I can't pick UFC fights anymore. That's clear.
Did your other card look like that too?
I took Ryan Spann.
Okay.
Spawn, whatever.
Okay.
Because I just that one I was wavering on, but I did have Gavin Tucker by sub.
Wrong.
And my God.
Dan Ige got a kid coming up. Can't be messing around no more in here.
I gotta put some respect on his name, man. I wasn't giving him enough respect last week. Another one, like vicious, starched.
Light work. Crazy.
Starched. Gavin Tucker is a decent prospect, man.
Yeah.
That was a big bounce back.
Definitely.
You know, like we said, you lose to Cater. It wasn't the worst loss in the world. It was by decision. But
Calvin Cater's a G.
I always say it's how you bounce back.
Yeah.
This is MMA. It's not boxing. You're going to lose. I want to see how you bounce back from it, where your mental stability is after taking that loss. Definitely. So now we get to see that from Gavin Tucker. It's not his first loss, but he was on a little bit of a run, so we'll get to see what he comes back with.
Right.
Dan Ige, man, props. Knocked him the fuck out.
Dan Ige set it off. I hope everybody cashed, because I did. Watch out. Let's get that one.
Ryan Spann. I don't know how the fuck to say it.
I think it's Ryan Spann. I don't know, but yeah, that was nice to see. That was nice to see because I thought I had second thoughts on this fight. I don't know. I thought Misha might be able to pull off a little upset, but
that's what I had. But
Ryan Spann went in there, did the damn thing.
I gotta stop reaching for the stars. But yeah, I mean, another one, a devastating KO. And once again, I was kind of at a point where I was like, wow, man, this card is fucking outperforming the shit out of itself. Like, by this point, you forget that Eric Anders even threw the knee.
Yep.
And that's why I think, as you mentioned before we started the pod, like, not many people in the community are talking about it. It's like it didn't happen. I think that's for a couple reasons. Number one is, as the fight went on and as the night went on, we saw a couple of vicious KOs. Makes you forget what happened earlier.
Yep.
And then as we transition into the main event, what a shitty situation here, man. Leon Edwards, Bilal
it sucks for both of them.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? I don't know, man. I always I get it that it could be a mistake and it could happen. And you're in there, you're fighting, you're trying to keep your distance, especially the guy who's longer in that range. Like, that's really, I mean, they say John Jones does that shit on purpose, but I think a lot of it started by him trying to keep his distance and range. And then maybe he started noticing that, I poked these motherfuckers in the eye. And even if you end up taking a point from me, they can't see. I'm going to whip their ass.
Right.
But whatever it may be, I don't want to say Leon Edwards did it on purpose. And that was Herb Dean's explanation for why he was given a no contest as opposed to a disqualification.
Yeah.
Because that was up in the air there. People were wondering, why are you not DQ'd for that? For a couple of reasons. These fighters are always spoken to before the fight by the referee in the back. And they tell them these things specifically. So that's your first warning. Technically, you could be taking a point off the first time you do it.
Off rip. Yeah.
But then he pokes him in the fucking eye in the first round and gets warned the first time in the actual fight, which is really the second time tonight. Then, I mean, dude, did you see the fucking still shot?
Oh, I did. I seen Dana posted it. Yeah, that was disgusting.
My God. He has his whole finger in this man's eye socket, bro.
And again, you see the people online, the little trolls. Oh, he's exaggerating in there.
Exaggerating. That is a sexual offense.
Yo,
do you understand?
Fingered his eyelid. Oh,
I don't give a fuck. His finger went halfway into one of his orifices, bro. Nah, he should feel violated. Yeah, he needs to call Olivia.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Call Olivia.
Yeah.
Right? That's what he needs to do. Fuck that. And that's the thing that gets me is after the fight, you got this guy, Leon Edwards, saying, I'm not trying to run it back.
Yeah. No, I didn't like that. What was that? You don't do that. Run that shit back.
I mean, look, there's two schools of thought here. And I kind of want to get both. I kind of want to understand both. You know what I mean? And I kind of do almost to some extent. But look, he was giving Bilal Muhammad a chance at something anyway. He wasn't really supposed to be in that fight. He shouldn't have been fighting a guy that low ranked. And frankly, the reason it's unfair for both of them is because Leon Edwards was fucking him up outside of everything that wasn't an eye poke.
Right.
But there was still 4 rounds to go, 3.5 rounds to go, so there's no saying what was going to happen.
And up until that point, it felt like there was still a possibility he could get hit with something.
There always is.
But you know what I mean. Like sometimes you could just tell where ain't shit gonna happen.
No, because you knew Bilal could throw some heat if he had, and even if he's getting battered, he's gonna just start throwing back, and start throwing some heat. So I would have liked to see how it went. But I could see where Leon Edwards is like, I really shouldn't even have been in this fight. I shouldn't even have been fighting Hamzat Chimaev. All right, so that's his side, right? I'm like number 3 ranked. I've won 8 in a row. That's the Leon Edwards fight. But now let me go to the other side. You fuck Bilal Muhammad because this was his opportunity, and you literally violated my man's eye socket.
Yeah.
Like his eye will quiver every time he sees you going forward for the rest of his life, 100%. Just from some PTSD shit. Like straight up.
Yeah.
You violated him, bro.
100%.
It's like the number. It's like one number below. You might as well have stuck your finger in his butt, bro. Gave him the oil check like Diego Sanchez be doing.
Yikes!
Well, yeah, man. I mean, and also in this, because of this fight, it's a lot of this reffing, man. These zebras in there. It's like,
well, not these zebras. This one zebra.
Well, nah, it's not just him because the other, the one earlier in the what do you call it? The Eric Anders fight. That ref was a little sketchy too on whether
everybody
makes
stop mistakes.
That fight.
Everybody makes mistakes, but my God, we can't go a fucking card without Herb Dean trying to get somebody hurt.
Yo,
it's been fucking 8 weeks in a row. Like, can we stop already, Herb Dean?
It's crazy that it's always him in there when this shit happens.
What is going on with him? Like straight up, yo. I don't understand it anymore.
I don't want to bash him too bad this episode, but yeah, it's just, I don't know.
So in that sense, if you're on Bilal's side, you feel like, all right, he deserves a rematch for that because you just violated him, and it's really not fair. You took that opportunity. You really didn't give him shit then.
Yeah.
I just don't like that Leon Edwards is asking for a title fight off of that, because I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, bro, even with your 8 wins in a row, you haven't fought for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares. Like, that's, frankly, I'm sorry, it's like washed away almost. Like,
yeah, pretty much, yo. That's what happens.
If one guy is winning 2-3 fights in a row, but just in the last fucking 2 years, he's higher and more, frankly, more deserving than you are too.
Yo, according to his standards, Makhachev should get a title shot too.
Bro, think about this. Everybody listens to this. Put this into perspective. Leon Edwards has not been in or won a fight since months before we even ever knew anything about a pandemic.
Yeah.
So it hasn't only been almost 2 years. It's been 2 years, one of which could be considered the longest year of history.
Right.
Right? Exactly. It feels like 3 years.
Because who knows what he was doing over there. Plus, he had COVID at one point.
I swear to God, it feels just as long as George St. Pierre's break, which was 4 years.
Yeah.
Just because of the COVID situation.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think he definitely needs another one. I don't know if against Bilal Muhammad. I mean, I was going to just roll into next week's UFC Vegas 22 picks, but maybe actually we could this is a pretty smooth transition to talk about the title fight that was just announced for UFC 261 in this division that Leon Edwards fights in.
Oh. So are they gonna put the BMF up for this one too? Like,
oh, come on, that one's done. That's over. That's never coming back. And that's why they shouldn't have done it, because it's just so, like, I love the idea of it, but it's just like, this is why you can't do it, because I guess Usman could say, like, but I won the fight, so how could you be the BMF? But, like, nah, dude.
Wrong.
Hugging and foot stomps. Yo, listen, all due respect, fine, you won the fight, but you didn't, like, put damage on him to be the BMF. There's a difference about that belt.
Right.
Like, that's why it was made for what it was. But that's why I think they should have just never made the actual belt. They could have promoted the whole event as this.
Yeah.
But making the actual belt was kind of wild. But whatever. They announced Usman versus Masvidal, the rematch.
Yep.
Three title fight. Jacksonville, Florida. A full crowd of 15,000 people.
That'll be exciting, man. As much as I wouldn't be up in the building, but for all those that's gonna be up in there, yo, enjoy yourselves and make it lit for us at home watching y'all spread that COVID.
I told you, bro. From all the stories I've heard already, Florida has basically just accepted the entire situation. Really? They're like, fuck it. You're going to get COVID, and like 99% chance you're going to survive, 1% chance you might not.
Right.
But fuck it. Go for it.
I don't like those shits.
I know, but that's what they're doing out there, bro. I'm telling you, everywhere you hear about Miami's off the chain. Forget it.
Yeah.
And they're still technically like under a stay-at-home protocol sort of situation. It's not like they fully opened up as much as they've actually done, but whatever. I don't want to get too far off course. Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade. I'm excited to see that one. Weili Zhang versus Thug Rose. That could be great.
Oh.
They've also announced Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute. Let me give a quick rundown here. I'm going to go the opposite way. Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute, I love it. I hope that makes it there because I'd like to see that crowd. Weili Zhang, Thug Rose. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
I hope it makes it there.
I do too. I think it would be great, man. The range that Thug Rose has, and she could be vicious, man. And the submissions, I think it could be a great fight. But she's kind of mentally broken in a lot of ways in what I've seen in the last couple of years, man. And I just get the feeling she's going to not make it to the cage knowing 15,000 people are out there breathing on her.
Yeah, big lights.
But it's not even big. Like, it's a track record of weird shit, you know?
It's big lights when it's the first time the crowd is back.
Yeah, but big lights for a couple reasons. Number one, yeah, maybe you're not used to that anymore because it has been a while. But also, there's going to be 15,000 people, like, surrounding you.
Yeah.
During all this shit that COVID is still going on. Like, I don't give a fuck how gung-ho Dana White wants to be about it. That don't mean Rose Namajunas is going to feel the same way.
Right.
And she's been a little weird, yo, after Andrade slammed her on her head. She's like, oh, I'm glad I lost the title. I don't want to have it anymore.
Yeah.
Then they tried to book this fight already once, and then Dana had to come out, and you know how he do. Don't go sour on the negotiations with Dana because he hits the media, and he's like, yo, she don't want the fight anymore. She don't want the belt.
Yep.
She comes out, says that's not true. She was just dealing with things. She keeps dealing with things kind of a lot. She took the Conor bus situation terribly.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming her for that, but she was like spooked after that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you get a fucking dolly thrown towards your fucking face. I'd be pretty scared too.
Yeah, I hear you. And like the OD gang of 20 Irish dudes slamming on the bus outside.
I'm saying, yo, if you ain't never experienced that, that's a whole new world.
Don't get me wrong. In no way am I saying for any reason that Rose doesn't want to fight Weili Zhang.
Right.
We're not here to make picks yet because we'll wait till we get to the card because I can't even consider it right now. But I'm not even telling you, I don't even know who I would go with in that yet.
Right.
I'd have to really look at it, right? But I don't think she's scared of her, nothing like that. Don't even get me wrong. I just think the crowd is something nobody's talked about. Yep. And her psyche lately, I don't know if she could deal with that. Obviously, you're hoping that she was aware of that before they booked it.
Right.
But you don't know that for sure. The UFC's done shit like book people without even telling them they're fighting yet. Forget about the location. If it gets there, and knock on wood it does, it's going to be fireworks. So.
Definitely. 261 looks like it'll be popping.
Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade. Valentina's a killer. I can't go any other way. We'll discuss that down the road. I don't know.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. That should be a good fight.
All right. I want this to come off right because I am a big Jorge Masvidal fan. I'm all about it, yo. Dude has true swag. Like he's got, I don't care. Like, and he can fight. He's upped his game in the last couple of years. No bullshit.
Been around for a long ass time.
But if I'm gonna stay true to myself and just speak how I always feel, no matter what, yo, I just don't think we really have to see the Usman Masvidal fight again.
I pretty much agree. Even though he's getting a full camp, I don't know.
Please, I mean, I'm sorry. I call a spade a spade. That's it. That was a bullshit excuse that was built in from the beginning.
Yeah.
If that's the case, don't take it. Hot take. I'm not even saying anything about the shtick and everything. But, yo, if you was to be real with yourself, I don't care how you feel about people and how they act. Colby Covington has a way better right towards that rematch with Kamaru than Jorge does.
But when you ask Usman who he'd rather face, he's given that opportunity to Masvidal. He don't want that action.
I'm trying to respect him after what
happened. Yo, we could respect. There's respect, but I'm just saying.
That's so true, right? I mean, call it what it is. You're literally going for the easier fight. I hate to say that about Masvidal because he's a gangster, bro. But this is MMA, and he's way too athletic, too strong.
Certain advantages that he can get across on this one instead of the other one.
He got too much wrestling on you, and Colby is the only person who literally pushed him to the brink so far in his career. Tyron Woodley sat there like a fucking beanbag chair.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Masvidal got held the whole time because he's just not big and strong enough for Usman, and his wrestling is not there.
Yep.
But Colby matches that shit, and they had to straight box and fight each other the whole time. And props to Usman on that one too. Yo, he broke his jaw and won the fucking fight.
Yeah.
But I just think, how can you actually justify not giving it to Colby? Is Jorge Masvidal really that big of a star? I mean, yo, Conor McGregor gets knocked out and people start losing their fucking minds. I'm telling you. They do. They really do.
It was the knee that set him over the top, bro.
And I'm trying to be respectful to this fucking Marty Usman from Nebraska, yo.
Ooh.
But at the end of the day, man, come on, I can see right through you, as always. You've wanted your father, since he got out of being locked up, to come see you at a live event. You don't want to take the chance that Colby could come in there and whip that ass in front of Dad the first time.
Holy shit!
And what you wanted to do is say, yo, what's my easiest route? He could say whatever he wants about putting a nail in it.
Yeah.
I promise you now, this is 5 rounds of the most crotch sniffing. I mean, he will be able to tell you what Jorge's kids' names are through the nutsack, okay? All right? Forget it. This is it's 50-45.
Damn.
What else could you say, man? Whatever. Another banger. They're going to do it. 15,000. Let's see what happens. Dana White be living dangerously, man. I think he wants to get fired. Because you know that,
whoa,
yo, WME, IMG, whoever, the people who really own that shit now, let some real crazy shit happen, and they are going to fire him. And I love Dana. You know that's my man. Look, that's 3 that I'm going to go after now that I love.
Damn.
Jorge, Dana, and there's one more coming. But before we get there, we made some picks for the upcoming UFC Vegas 22, main evented by Derek Brunson and Kevin Holland. We're going to pick 3 fights because we picked too many. Another card that, I mean, doesn't, knock you off your feet on paper.
It definitely might surprise you, though. You never
I've seen
know.
enough UFCs that look like this to tell you it's very likely it does.
Kevin Holland said he's promising fireworks.
And Kevin Holland will probably deliver fireworks, man, after what we saw him do last time.
Yeah, for real.
Jacare Souza, that shit was crazy. Let's start with the first one. We were going to pick the Tai Tuivasa fight. Then his opponent was not medically cleared. He lost it while we're doing our research. Then he's back on the card against somebody else who must have stepped up for them. It's going to be the guy's UFC debut, but we didn't have time to go look at that. So we had just moved on. We chose Adrian Yanez. Yanez.
Yanez. Yeah, I think Yanez.
Versus Gustavo Lopez. Yanez has won 5 in a row. Won in the Contender Series. Won his real UFC debut. Won 3 fights before he got into the Contender Series. I mean, Lopez won his last fight by sub. He also got smashed by Merab a couple fights ago.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we said this before. You can't take a Merab loss too hard.
No, I know. But I think
he was killing it in Combate.
Gustavo?
Yeah, he was.
I'll be honest here. Look, I'm not going to try to fucking fake it, you know? Like, I didn't know who the fuck either one of these guys were, really.
Oh, yeah, I mean, same boat. It should be an exciting scrap.
I got this Yanez dude by KO, bro. He's vicious. He got some bodies on his record. Some KOs.
I think that's why my man Dana signed him from the Contender Series, bro. Think he's going to explode onto the scene. Another KO. I agree with you on that one.
And no disrespect to Gustavo Lopez, because I don't really know him well enough to disrespect him, but I don't know. It just seemed like he was like, you know, he's like a decent fighter. I'm not saying he's on his way out, but yeah. I don't know if he's going to, you know, be the next superstar either. I think he just seemed like a middle-of-the-road type of guy. And Dana definitely wants to start making stars off that Contender Series because it's the same concept they use with the Ultimate Fighter, and the more they get guys like that to do the Forrest Griffin, Rashad Evans, you know, all these guys who've won the belt after those shows, it makes it better. So I think this is set up for this guy to get fucking starched. But as we've seen, you know, you never know when that happens.
No, baby, it's fighting. That's why you got to love this.
Speaking of getting starched, like a fucking ironing board, Gregor Gillespie, back in the octagon. Yo, when I went to go see this, Gregor Gillespie versus Brad Riddle, I said, damn, remember that time bum-ass, big mouth Kevin Lee fucking stiffened him?
Yikes! Damn, son.
I'm like, yo, I wonder how he bounced back from that. I can't believe this is, I mean, then again, it was kind of fucking vicious, but
that was the one in the Garden, no?
That was November 19.
That was the one in the Garden, yeah.
Damn, bro, I don't like the sign of that. I mean, I know that we went through the pandemic and shit, and maybe Gregor had some situation with that, but I'm not saying come right back because you got stiffened. You need to take a nice break.
Right.
A nice break in a year and a half is another thing. I'm thinking maybe it was COVID complications. I think Kevin Lee is a fucking bum.
Oh, shit. I like Kevin Lee.
Yeah, you know what, man? I used to like Kevin Lee, but he's one of those guys, man, who felt like he was sort of competing with the top for a little bit and just got too gassed for his own talent.
Right.
And he's not what he believes he is.
Oh, shit.
I mean, Gregor Gillespie won his first 6 UFC fights before running into Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really kind of feel like it was just underestimating him because at that point, I think people weren't afraid of Kevin Lee anymore.
Yeah.
But I think this proves a lot. This will prove a lot where Gregor Gillespie stands in his career. You know, this technically is not technically. It is the bounce back fight.
Well, I don't like this bounce back fight for him. City Kickboxing is putting out some fine products over there.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, Brad Riddell is another one of those guys that looks like a good up-and-comer.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that every gym has a couple of those really top guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that this is who Brad Riddell is. We'll get to see. I think this is a big statement fight for both of them, and that's why they're in the co-main event, because it's going to say a lot for both of them, and we're going to see who gets it. And honestly, the guy who loses this, despite both of them kind of having good overall records. I mean, Riddell's won 6 straight and 3 in the UFC too. And of course, he comes from the Adesanya Dan Hooker camp, right? So the only thing is, man, it's kind of like the question I had for Islam Makhachev, which was those gyms always have a couple of those top guys. And then they have these other guys who are supposed to be next.
Right.
And those top guys want to prop those guys up to be next because those are their youngins, those are their boys.
Yeah.
And I just think sometimes there's too much expectations. When Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, Cain Velasquez, and Khabib got to become top-of-the-line guys at AKA, there was nobody before them really for them to have to live up to.
Gotcha.
Now, anybody who comes out of there has to live up to those 4 guys.
Yeah.
That's heavy expectations. And look, they're kind of on a slump right now. I hate to say it, but Adesanya and Hooker lost their last fights. Hooker's lost his last couple.
Right.
I don't know. I got Gregor Gillespie by sub. I think his wrestling, I think he goes back to the basics. It's been a long time. He's gotten the time to shake out the cobwebs and take a vacation and come back and have enough time to train. He's definitely taken enough time. I think he puts his wrestling to work, which is what he should have done before he got fancy standing up there with Kevin Lee.
Right.
And I think he subs him. And I think it's a 0 for 3. Bad things happen in 3, my friend. City Kickboxing, get ready for the 3rd installment.
Damn, I'm gonna go opposite, and maybe that's not good for City Kickboxing. Chrissy Malloy is on your side, but fuck it.
No, this is Chrissy from the podcast. This is a different character.
You already know, kid.
Different guy. It's not the guy who gambles. They don't have any concern by it. Inevitably, you'll have money on Gregor Gillespie at some point, and Brad Rydell will save it for City Kickboxing. I don't know. Once again, I know I follow these narratives, but this is the way I think of the UFC. This is his bounce back fight. Let's see what he does.
Okay.
If he gets fucked up again or even loses the decision, I think it's bad for Gillespie after getting starched the way he did.
Right.
He needs to bounce back, get back to the basics, apply his wrestling, take this guy down. What did Khabib say to Jan Blachowicz after that fight? You know why you win this. Wrestling. That's why you win this. It's the top thing in this. Nobody can stop it, you know? Floyd Mayweather could be the best boxer in the world. He steps into an MMA ring. 98% of these guys are going to take him down and fuck him up with wrestling. Even the ones who aren't wrestlers.
Yep.
But, all right, so we're going opposite there. And now we get to the main event. Fireworks, right? Kevin Holland.
Yeah, Derek Brunson, nice.
Derek Brunson is whack.
I mean, he'll put up a scrap.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong. Derek Brunson is that ultimate gatekeeper.
Wow.
You know, the guys who don't deserve to break into the top 10, he'll beat them. That's why he's on a fucking 3-fight winning streak. He also looks like Cisco.
Asshole.
And, you know, that is what it is, I guess. But according to him, that's his superpower. So things have changed since he Cisco'd it up and started asking for that thong.
Yikes!
But if they had one of those corny early 1990s names for this UFC card, it'd be like UFC Proving Point. Because there's just a lot of that going on. Kevin Holland, here it is. This is the step officially into the next level.
Yeah, right.
All the guys who've gotten to the next level have knocked this fool out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Adesanya, Whitaker, Jacare, fucking Yoel. They've all knocked this fool out. And that's how they went to the next level. He's the guy.
Yep.
And then you get these other guys like Edmund Shabazian, the Ronda Rousey prospect who fought Derek Brunson last. We haven't heard from him since. It looks like he really is a Ronda Rousey prospect, huh? She's teaching him everything, including how to handle a loss. I mean, you lose to Derek Brunson, we don't see you again for a year. You can't be hurt other than emotionally.
Oh, that's not good.
He's the stepping stone of the division. So I believe in Kevin Holland a lot. I like him, and I think I'd love to see him and Adesanya go at it. I think Adesanya might be a little too technical for him, but that's another story down the road.
Yeah.
I hope he knocks Derek Brunson the fuck out because I don't like that fool anyway. And I'm going Holland by KO, hopefully viciously.
I hope so, because that's the one we riding Saturday night.
Yikes!
So when are we going to have the conversation about riding with? Like, we've talked about this.
But I'm not riding with that fight. I'm riding that fight to the bank.
No, say fighter. Say fighter. So say it.
But
say, I'm not riding with that fighter. I'm riding that fighter.
Yikes!
I'm referring to the fight. I'm riding that fight to the bank. I'm riding that one to the bank.
So you're riding Kevin Holland to the bank.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so that's UFC Vegas 22. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yikes!
That should be fun, though. That's a good scrap. I'm excited to see how that turns out because Derek Brunson, straight up, if you're not top 10 material, he'll prove it. I got to give him at least that much respect.
Put some respect on my name.
Very little. Hopefully, fucking Holland takes care of that. Gets rid of this guy. But that's our coverage for UFC Vegas 22. We got our 3 picks. We're really only going against each other in 1. But at this point, the distance is so large that I don't think it matters right now.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
There's plenty of other fights we could go over, but guess what? You want reviews on those? Go somewhere else. Go watch the fights, catch the card. These
I think
the 3
Jim
we picking.
Norton and Matt Serra, in between talking about the HTC Vive and fucking trannies, I think they do get into a couple more fights than we do.
Yikes!
And to transition, Matt Serra.
Man.
We haven't had a chance to talk about this since the last pod. This didn't come out until after the pod.
Yeah.
We all noticed that Matt Serra wasn't with Aljo. No one really knew why, and I feel like the broadcast didn't bring it up. We didn't consider it. I remember being like, "Where's Serra?" Because we
It's
only
a little weird.
Don't let me speak for you. I only know of and root for Aljo due to my affiliation to Matt Serra. Like I love Matt Serra, always have. Him knocking out George St. Pierre is the literal greatest upset of all time.
Yep.
I just am blown away, and it's developed. So before we even got a chance to discuss it, since the last pod, they've put out a video together online.
Yeah.
But what did you expect? I wasn't expecting them to have real beef.
Nah, not at all, bro.
Ray Longo was still there. At the end of the day, Matt Serra was still hurt by it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't get it.
He's a bigger person at the end of the day. And I mean, I think Aljo realized he fucked up and he should have had him in his corner.
I hope he did.
Yeah.
I hope he did. But I actually think Matt Serra's going to stick to that whole thing where he's just not going to do it anymore to avoid this problem. And I get that.
You fucked me one time, bro. I'm not gonna allow you to hurt my feelings again.
One last thing about Aljo. My man getting a little too comfortable in these pictures online with the belt.
I've been seeing quite a few. Like I told you before, bro. He's adopted the mind state. Yo, come take it.
I can respect that.
Fuck it.
It's just something kind of gross. And you know I love Aljo, but there's something kind of gross about the progression of comfortability he is going through with that shit on his shoulder.
Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't love the Henry Cejudo thing the next day. I got what he was saying when it came to like the friends trying to prop him up, but I would have made it very clear to my friends, we could do this. We could have a party tonight. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
None of y'all are to post this shit online because I'm not parading around with it. Now my man's like back at the gym, like throwing the strap up with his man who just validly won the Cage Fury belt and acting like I don't know, man. I still think it should have been vacant. And he did not do himself any favors with the whole Matt Serra situation, but
yeah,
they're gonna have to run that one back. We'll see how
they're gonna run that one back. They're gonna run that
one back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Easy.
Before we get out of MMA, I told you I had one last guy who I love, who I gotta come after just a little bit. I'm sorry, I have to.
Ain't gonna be seeing none of those bottles in the pot.
look. I'm wearing some fucking August McGregor, the plum fleece tracksuit. Conor McGregor sells his shares in Proper 12 whiskey.
Shit.
Now, look, I'm so fucking understanding about anybody who goes to get the bag.
Right.
Right. He makes $155 million off this sale.
Shit.
It doubles his net worth to $300 million.
Wow. Congratulations.
Don't get me wrong, that sounds amazing. But what the fuck? It's Proper 12.
Bro, I mean, I get it. It's like it hits home.
The 12 is where he came from. It's like he was making money hand over fist by this liquor just selling. And look, even if it never overtook Jameson, whether it has or it hasn't or it will or it never does, it's right up there in the top 3, and it would have made him millions of dollars for many years to come.
It definitely doesn't now. It doesn't touch that. It sold a lot because of the name that was on it.
They're going to change the name because that's the point of what they buy.
No. I mean, but
you know who bought
the
it?
name
Jose
wasn't
Cuervo.
The name wasn't just Proper 12. It was Conor McGregor's Proper 12. There's no longer the label of Conor McGregor on that. And I don't think it
See, I feel like the company that bought it, Jose Cuervo, I feel like they think it will. It'll always be his whiskey, right? But like, I don't give a fuck about that or them. I'm talking about him.
Bro,
I am never a hater, especially when it comes to him. I mean, I'm a hater plenty of the time. I'm just not a hater to him. It like speaks more to the same thing with the fighting. Like, where's the passion? You were supposed to leave this to your kids.
The passion is getting the bag, and they going to eat off that 155.
Right, he already had 150. He was going to keep making money.
More.
He was going to keep making tons of millions.
And he's going to keep making more
millions. He
could
keep getting knocked out in the UFC and still come back and make $20 million in his next fight. I think he comes back and wins one fight in the UFC. He could probably get the Manny Pacquiao fight again and make $50 million in boxing. Where is the legacy? You don't care about the legacy anymore. You just don't care. Because that's what this says to me.
He set his legacy already.
And now he's destroyed it.
Chomp. Come on, man.
I don't get it.
It's about the bag, bro. You tell me, if I'm worth 150, you tell me you gonna.
It's about the bag, right? But he's got the bag. The bag is done. My man pulled up in a motherfucking cruise ship to his last fight, bro.
Now we got another one.
How much do you need? When do you want? Like, why?
That shit was expensive.
All right. Let me ask you this. You, personally, 250 million in your lifetime and, like, the number 2 whiskey in all of liquor stores, like, with your fucking name on it. Mm-hmm. Like, you're fucking Jameson. Let's cut Proper 12 out of it. You are Jameson.
Right.
250 million over your lifetime for you, your kids, and all the rest to spend.
Okay, right.
And your name of Jameson on there.
Or
350 million and ugats of a legacy besides for Dustin Poirier beating the dust off of you in your last fight. I mean, bro, I told you the Mayweather fight. Are you kidding me? I don't give a fuck what the decision said. That was a win. The Khabib fight, he came back after 2 years and took on the guy that literally nobody can fucking beat. And I think he did better than the rest of them. It says something. You could almost find a little silver lining of a win there too, if you were delusional. But you almost could. This is an L. I'm sorry. And you know I love this guy. I wore his fucking $150 jumpsuit on purpose to say I'm a supporter. I got fucking bottles of Proper 12 everywhere. I got the original one before they even changed over to the smooth as fast bottle. Unopened. What is it worth now? It's a fucking bottle of Jose Cuervo now. I want to throw it out the window. You kidding me, bro? Where's the legacy?
Oh, shit.
I never thought I'd ever get on a fucking podcast and abuse Jorge Masvidal, Dana White, and Conor McGregor in the same fucking hour, all right? Never. But my God, I shoot it straight no matter what on this shit. This is how I feel. This is some fucking, once again, let's just take the bag. That's it,
baby. That's what it's about.
To me, this is the equivalent of them offering him Dustin Poirier in a rematch for the UFC lightweight championship of the world, or them offering him the Manny Pacquiao boxing fight for a bag. And he chose the bag and going to fight Manny instead of going to revenge that embarrassing ass knockout that he
We're going to get that bag.
That's not the Conor I grew to love, man.
I hear you.
That's not it. He embodied the fighter and warrior spirit. You know who else embodies the fighter and warrior spirit?
Who that?
Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, baby. Signs a 2-fight deal to fight Anthony Joshua. Breaking news about a day or two ago, so it's not really breaking anymore.
Right.
Ooh, I'm so happy to see that.
Yeah, you excited for that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to say about the fact that it's a 2-fight deal. I don't see why we even need the second fight because I think Tyson Fury is going to mop the floor with him.
That's a little odd.
That fat little Mexican kid just knocked him out 2 fights ago. There's no way Tyson Fury is not beating the shit out of him. What I'm kind of assuming here is because it's corrupt-ass boxing, the most corrupt sport in the world, Tyson Fury has some lag from not fighting for a while, puts on a decent fight that we all clearly think he won. They call it a draw. And they fight number 2 where Fury puts him away inside of 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think I like Anthony Joshua a little bit more than people give him respect for because all he's done is hide his whole career.
Okay.
Hide from Deontay Wilder, so I don't know what made him think I should sign to fight this guy. I think people just look at Tyson Fury and think, like, come on. But maybe he should rewatch that tape because he beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder.
Deontay said he had shit in his gloves, though.
Wrong.
Loser.
Oh, my God. Stop putting embarrassing hyperbole like that out there in the public, please. That's why that guy's career is over. You know that, right? He might fight a couple more bums, but he ain't never getting with these two again.
Not a good look.
That's why he got pushed out.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, they could easily do the trilogy here, and this is boxing. They had a draw in the first one, and even though it was a draw, Deontay Wilder almost killing him in the 12th round could be kind of looked at like maybe he should have got the nod there.
Right.
But I'm not saying he should have if you grade boxing the way it's supposed to be, which is Fury won more rounds, but he almost killed him at the end there, so it could be looked at like, yo, let's get this rubber match almost.
True.
Not anymore. After he came out chirping all that shit, my outfit was heavy. I didn't have the energy.
Every excuse under the sun, bro.
Forget it, bro. Forget it. It was ridiculous. Then he got pushed out, and now there's a 2-fight deal with Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury fucks him up, man. Straight up. Early thoughts?
As we get closer, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll have more of an opinion then. I might go opposite, but I don't know. I'll let you know as we get closer. They didn't put a date for that yet, did they?
No, but they said they believe both of them are going to occur in 2021. Another thing that's definitely not true. Not true. No way. It's not how boxing works.
Right.
They'll do the first one. Then one of them will have to go fight some fucking bum that they'll have to beat up for 3 rounds in between all
Unless
of this.
they do it in the next couple weeks. They could get 2 in if they do it in the next couple weeks.
Maybe, but I don't know if you could sneak up a fight like that on Tyson Fury. He's not fucking Floyd Mayweather. He probably needs some time to prepare.
The UFC only needs well. Then again, yeah. Where would they have that? They're not having that in Florida.
No, he said he will not fight anywhere outside of the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, for the remainder of his career. Yeah. He said he won't even go back to the UK, which I mean, like he's like, they're gypsies, but they're like kind of in UK, Ireland. They kind of bounced around those areas, his family at least.
Right.
But like he said he won't even go back home. He said he's fighting nowhere but Vegas after he did that like Mr. America shit that time. I like Fury, man. He's got some story.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just think Anthony Joshua just seems like a complete product of boxing. Stay in the weight room, do your lifting, look like a fucking Adonis, and then accidentally get knocked out by a fat little Mexican kid.
Damn, son.
Tyson Fury is going to put the beats on him. Do you understand that Tyson Fury is 6'9" and fucking moves around like Floyd Mayweather? Like, come on, man. He's going to dust him.
He had me eat some of my words, but we'll see. I don't know.
I guess we will. I'm excited to see when that gets booked, too, because especially talking about both happening in this year, we're already almost through March. I don't know. One fight that we do know will be happening this year, and I'm almost hesitant to even bring this up. I don't want to take too long on it. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul.
Oh.
A lot of people are weighing in, man. Mike Tyson saying Jake Paul's legit. Zab Judah don't know what the fuck he's talking about, and sounds like he's on angel dust, so I can't even listen to him.
Oh, shit.
I also don't know if I agree with Dana White talking about him put $1 million on it. You know what I think? I think Jake Paul, surprisingly, is not even surprisingly, because we all know what Ben Askren's boxing's like. Jake Paul's a better boxer.
Yes.
Here's my only early thought, and I'll continue to see video, and I'll make a decision as we get closer to the fight of who I actually want to call on it. This I know for sure. Ben Askren's plan is not to outbox this kid. This kid's going to put some fucking knuckles on Ben Askren for like the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Right.
But Ben Askren's been punched around the octagon by fucking Robbie Lawler and withstood it.
Yeah.
Now, there won't be an anaconda or a bulldog choke for him to save himself with this time, but can he withstand enough of the beating and this kid hyped up an adrenaline rush against a real fighter for the first time, trying to knock him out flashy like Masvidal did or something? You can't throw knees in this one, bro.
Yeah, right.
Can Ben Askren withstand that beating a little bit early, tire him out, and then literally on some like looking kind of like a 6th grade girl playing patty cake at lunch, just kind of like pitter patter him until the ref has to pull him off. Remember, this is also boxing.
Yep.
And even in the UFC, it happens sometimes where a guy is like out on his feet. Look, Conor was frankly tough. I mean, Mayweather looked like he was fucking drilling him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he didn't go down.
Right.
And they called it.
Yep.
So would I be shocked if Ben Askren continues to hang on Jake Paul the whole time and the ref's got to break him and lets him sort of, honestly, almost like the Rocky method would draw, like let him tire himself out punching me in the face? First off, they're not 4-ounce gloves, they're boxing gloves.
Yep.
That's not good for brain damage later on, but it is good for staying in the fight in the moment, which is why it's not good for brain damage later on because you stay in and get punched more.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying Ben Askren won't be eventually eating his fucking peaches out of a can, but can he withstand the beating for a couple rounds, start to tire him out, push him up against the ropes, and just pity-patty punch him until the ref pulls it off? I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, the guy's a fucking college wrestling champion, an MMA champion in legit organizations, dude. And Jake Paul's a fucking 2-1 favorite.
Yo, he's about to have him doing the Nate Robinson challenge. He's gonna sleep him. He's gonna sleep him.
Ben Askren stood in there with fucking Diego Lima, the dude who knocked out MVP. He stood in there with Jay Haran. He stood in there with Robbie Lawler. The Jorge Masvidal knee would have knocked out a fucking elephant.
Definitely.
That shit lands clean like that. There's no fucking saying what it would do to you.
I agree.
You cannot look at it that way. The guy has been in there with legit strikers and been able to evade. And I get it, it's mostly with the wrestling. So that's why I say he will take some beating early on. But let's remember, Nate Robinson cannot be included in any fucking conversations. What was that fucking over the head? Have you ever fought anyone in your life? I told you Nate Robinson was soft back when Carmelo snuffed Marty Collins and everybody's pulling people back, and Nate Robinson, he runs at Carmelo like he's about to square up and notices, yo, nobody held me back. Oh shit, yo, Melo, you good?
I'm not surprised.
Carmelo Anthony throws the punch at Marty Collins. Yeah, he landed as Collins goes down.
After he had just floored his fucking teammate. He's a phony. He's always been a phony. You could tell my man can't fight. And whoever wants to challenge me and say, oh, yeah, what do you fucking know? So let's box then, bro. Let's see what I know. I don't know.
Damn.
Maybe I do know something. What I do know is you can fucking stay in the pocket and throw punches and not do these. What did he think he was doing? Like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? That does not count. These are boxing gloves. How many people usually get knocked out in boxing?
Yeah, very true.
Few and far between.
Very true.
Right?
So who you got?
I don't know yet. I'm not taking a pick yet. I'm saying right now my idea is crazy enough. This sounds insane, but I think if Jake Paul wins, it's a decision. And if Ben Askren wins, it's a stoppage.
Okay.
Because I think Jake Paul will win more rounds of boxing, and then Ben Askren could try to do that pour it on thing to tire him out at the end,
right?
And actually get us. And that sounds counter. It sounds what? Like Jake Paul would get the stoppage. Askren's the fucking decision machine.
Yeah.
That's when he's allowed to use wrestling.
Gotcha.
But if he loses the first 4 rounds by tiring Jake Paul out using his face. He's gonna, you know what I mean? He's not gonna have enough
you
rounds
apply that
left.
dirty boxing, man. Yeah.
Exactly, and he's not gonna have enough rounds left to win the decision. So I think he's gonna have to try to put an end to him. And I think Jake Paul could win enough early rounds that even if he starts to tire out, as long as he doesn't go down or have the ref call it on him because he can't pick up his arms from being exhausted.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck how much he's been training. There's still a difference when you get in there live against a real fighter. Call Ben Askren what you want, but when the fucking door closes and you're both in shorts, he's been in fights in fucking Japan and Bellator and fucking college wrestling his whole life.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for 2 years.
Very true.
It will matter. We'll see. A lot of shit going on in the combat sports world. Some fake, some phony, some real. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Before we get out of here, I just want to make one closing point, because you know how I like to end these episodes with a little mention to the Bitcoin.
Where's it at?
I think just before I checked, before this episode started, it was at back up to 58.
Okay.
I have an interesting story. I don't know if you saw this. NFL offensive lineman Russell Okung signs a $13 million a year contract in the offseason.
Okay.
My man takes half his salary in Bitcoin. At the time, it's $27,000. Also the time when your boy started telling you and everyone he cared about, you'll get in here at 27.
Right.
Think about how fucking crazy this is.
That's nuts.
It's now at 58. My man's $13 million contract is now worth $21 million. He by himself increased his contract by 50% and made himself one of the richest players at his position in the NFL.
That's crazy.
And it's still going, bro.
That's smart.
I'm not surprised.
My man was thinking, innovative. My God, how smart was that? Didn't have to do nothing.
So is it still in there? Or did he cash out?
They haven't said he cashed out. He's crazy if he cashes out. You crazy. Until it gets back down to $13,001,001, I would never respect you for touching it.
Let it ride.
You have to. Listen, and even beyond 13, I think even if it went below 13, you got to hold it, man. You might even have to buy more.
Yeah.
But whatever. If you have a family that you care about and you're not willing to take that risk, it has to drop a lot for you to get back down there. You know what I mean? Like, you could cut out at 17, 15 and still make a couple extra $1 million if you really want to just be safe. Right. Or you ride it out, because eventually it's going to be 350. Remember who told you it was going to be 50 and 55 and 60, and now it is. And remember who's now telling you it's going to be 350 eventually. So what's that going to be for him then? Bitcoin, baby. If your money is not working for you, it's losing. That's that. Get involved.
Bang.
Another one in the books, episode 11. Same shit.
Different day, kid.
The podcast.
I'm holla at you.
I love you, kid.
Love you, kid.
Later.